Hello everybody. I should probably do a Christmassy video because it's just been Christmas, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna do one about moving house instead. I hope you've all had a nice Christmas, obviously. Mine's been a bit weird. I got burgled on Christmas Eve night, I think it was. I woke up on Christmas Day and most of my presents that I'd bought for other people had gone. And my housemate's PlayStation was gone as well. So it was pretty fucking shit at the beginning of Christmas Day, but it did turn out quite nice in the end. And my birthday was the day after, so I had a really nice time on my birthday. I got spoilt rotten by my boyfriend. Yeah, I've moved house quite a lot, and I think for neurotypical people, it is stressful anyway, but for people with Aspergers and autism, like, it's even worse. So this is for people with Aspergers and autism who are thinking of moving, or whoever really. So the first one is make sure the reason why you're moving is necessary and you definitely want to move, and that nobody else is pressurising you into moving. So like, are you moving for the right reasons? Will you be able to cope with it? That kind of thing. Because I've moved a few times and put myself in positions where it's not been good for me. Like moving to university in Leeds, which is a totally different city, at 18 years old. This is before I got diagnosed with Asperger's. But I didn't know anybody and I was living in halls and it was just fucking horrendous, like one of the worst experiences of my life. And I ended up quitting after a year and having to move back in with my mum and dad. So, yeah, I mean, there were other reasons why I had to move home. I just went a bit crazy, to be honest, but just make sure that it's what you really want and don't let anybody pressurise you into doing anything. Because, you know, if you do something and your heart's not in it completely and you haven't properly thought it through, then it's probably going to end badly. The second one is make sure you've got a good support network. This is really important because if anything goes wrong, or you just need a friend or somebody to talk to or anything, or you need a bit of help or, you know, whatever, if there's nobody there, then you're going to be stuck on your own, and that is very overwhelming. And also, like, if it's something important that you need help with, like, what are you going to do? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not as easy to make friends in a new place and stuff like that if you move into a different city or a different country even, or just far away. That kind of stuff doesn't really come naturally, generally speaking, with people with Asperger's. So yeah, you need to make sure that you've got people down there that you can trust and that will help you if you need help. The third one is, can you afford to move and will you be able to find work if you're able to work? So in my situation at the moment, I'm currently living with two of my friends in a lovely little house in Sheffield, and you know, it's going to be a bit more expensive for me rent-wise and bills-wise now that I'm moving in with my boyfriend next month, but I've made sure that I've budgeted for everything, even in the worst case scenario. Like if I get a job that's a bit shit pay, I'll still be able to manage. I've got some savings and my boyfriend is able to help out. So I'm in a good position where things aren't really going to go tits up financially, and I am very driven and motivated to get a decent job. I'm also coming up to my driving test on the 9th of February, so it's not long now. Absolutely shitting myself. But if I pass my driving test, then I'll have more chance of getting a better paid job than that, and it'll be easier for me to get to work because I'm not a fan of public transport, but I use it because I have to use it. The next one is, if you had to move back to wherever you were moving from, would you have anywhere to stay, like family's house or friend's house or something? Because what I've found a few times is I'll move somewhere and something will go wrong, like breakups or depression and stuff like that. And I've had to temporarily move back to my mum and dad's, well, my dad's now. Um, so yeah, like just make sure that you've got a backup plan in case things go wrong, because I'm not being cynical. It's always good to stay positive, and that's been my mindset for a while now. But it's also good to be prepared if something does happen, because life is I don't know, it's very unpredictable, isn't it? So yeah. If you're if you move into another city or far away, make sure you know the area and you familiarise yourself with the amenities or amenities. I did write this, but I can't pronounce it. And the bus routes and roads, and just make sure that you know where everything is, you know where the supermarket is, you know where the doctors is, the dentist is, and stuff like that. And I mean, that's another thing in itself. When you move, obviously register with your new doctors, and dentist and that. But just like, and everything that you usually used, like all the services that you used, and shops and stuff like that, just make sure that you know where the new ones are, because that'll save you a lot of stress and walking around aimlessly. So yeah, because there's nothing worse as well than being used to things, and then just suddenly everything's just completely different and it's all over the place and you can't find anything. Make sure that you have old objects in your new house, and maybe try and place things in a similar way to your previous home. So if you had, like, I don't know, like the chopping board next to the oven with space to make dinner at the end of it, and your fridge in the corner next to the washing machine, I don't know, like if you had a certain way of setting up things, just stick to that if you can. Obviously the layout of the house or flat or whatever will be different, so but it just gives you a bit more what do you call it, familiarness. I can't think of a word. When you are coming up to moving house, don't try and take too much on over this period, like before, during and even after, because there's a lot to take into consideration. There's a lot of change going on. You might feel a bit iffy and a bit stressed out and a bit unusual and a bit off. And you don't want to like push yourself too much, because it's just going to make you feel even worse. And you need to be on the ball, and you need to be able to plan things and get up and do things and stuff during the time that you do move house. Familiarise yourself with how to travel to see family and friends, whether it's a train, car, journey, plane even, and discuss with them if you need any arrangements, like if you need them to meet you halfway or anything like that, because obviously public transport and getting out and about and stuff like that can be very difficult for people with Aspergers and autism. I'm sure they'll understand. Like when I moved down, I've already spoke to my dad about how we'd get up and down to see each other. We've got a spare room, so we can stay in the spare room if he wants to come and stay with us. Because it's not that far away, but it's an hour and a half drive away, and probably like 2.5 hours in total train journey, with buses and that. So yeah, like just make sure, and then that makes you feel better as well, because you know that you're not stuck and you can still see your family and friends, and it's not, like you're not just there and you're going to be on your own and that. If you've got a job, make sure you give 30 days notice or whatever the notice period is, and maybe leave a week or so where you're not working, just to get used to everything and make sure that you've got everything sorted for the move. That's what I'm doing. Like, I'm gonna lose out on a week's wages, but at the end of the day, I'd rather do that and have my sanity, basically, because I'm already getting stressed out about it as it is. So, and that applies to if you're renting a property, which I also am. But my housemates and the letting agency have had months, so they know full well what's going to happen, so that's fine. Make a list of all the things that you need to change your address on, like your driving license, your bank, energy companies, benefits, even eBay and Amazon, just everything basically, because you don't want stuff going to your old address, and yeah, it's just a bit of a nightmare if you leave it. The next thing is be positive and try to be excited for your new beginnings, but also be prepared, as change is a big thing for neurotypical people, but for people like us, it's massive. And you might feel a bit dodgy, as I said before, with the run up to your move. Even a bit after as well, because it's getting settled in, and it might take you longer than like the average person to get settled in, and that's absolutely fine. That's normal. Don't beat yourself up if you end up feeling a bit rough, or don't think that you've made the wrong decision. Give it time. Give yourself a chance. It'll be fine. Another thing I think about is like what things did you do in your old house, like routine wise? Did you go to the gym? Did you go for a walk around the park? Did you play PlayStation? Did you eat certain foods? If whatever it is, whatever makes up part of your routine, make sure that you incorporate that into your new routine at your new home, because I'm already starting to feel like, because I've not been going to the gym as much, and I mean it's been Christmas, but Christmas is weird anyway, because everything's all over the place, but because I've not been eating my regular food that I eat every single day, I just feel a bit out of kilter a bit, and a bit like not really me, so, and it's not a very nice feeling. So like, yeah, if you've got things that you'd usually do to occupy your time that make you feel calm, make you feel better, then make sure that you carry that on in your new home. The last thing I would suggest, and this doesn't really apply to everybody, I'm not a big fan of taking medication, and I did for years. I've not got anything against people that do. I still take diazepam every now and then when shit gets real. But I would suggest just going to the doctor and getting some anti-anxiety medication, just to prepare you, because it is such a big thing. Whether you're moving down the street, or whether you're moving to a different city altogether and you don't know anybody, like, it's going to be difficult for you. But when you've got anti-anxiety medication, it does help take the edge off a bit. So I'd definitely suggest going to your GP and just getting something to, even if it's like for the placebo effect, just to make you feel a bit more, you know. But yeah, that's it. The last thing really is just enjoy your new home and be proud of yourself for making this big step, because it is a very big step. Also, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, please. And my Instagram is dynamitejetmoom, as in Anna Moomin, as in the TV programme. So if you'd like to follow that, that'd be great. Also as well, I'm kind of like trying to compile some ideas for more videos. So if you've got any like suggestions for me, for new videos, or if you've got any questions for me so I can do a Q&A, whether it's about Aspergers, whether it's about anything really, please leave me a comment below. And yeah, that's it. So happy new year, and I'll see you again soon.